So today we are going to discuss about management of natural resources. So in this lesson, we're going to know the necessity of management of natural resources. So what is the necessity? Why do we need to manage the natural resources? Actually, we have studied about different natural resources like soil, air and water and their management in your lower classes in class 9 and 8. So there we understood the importance of these natural resources and their sustainable use, judicious use of these natural resources. If they are not used in such a way, what kind of consequences, what kind of problems are caused? So we discussed all such issues. Even we discussed about the pollution of water, pollution of air and other things. So now in this lesson, we are going to discuss about the other natural resources like forest, wildlife, coal and petroleum, minerals. So the earth, it is bountiful source of energy or materials. Everything we obtain, that is from the earth. So we get the energy from the sun, that is trapped in different forms. We not only need energy to survive, we need so many materials. So in one of your lesson, life process, we studied that there is a continuous movement of molecules through our bodies. That means we need to take some molecules from the external environment to our body, and from our body we leave some molecules. Movement of molecules, every organism, it does it. So we need supply of so many materials, minerals, not only for the use of our body, our cells, for our day-to-day life, for our comforts. We need so many materials. From where do we get all these materials? That is from the earth. So the earth, it provides various materials. What kind of materials you get from earth? Everything. So you are using books. You're getting your books from the trees. They are from forest. And you are using toys made of plastic or any other synthetic materials that you obtain from coal, that you obtain from soil. So what else we get? We get cloth. So we get the cloth from plants, again plants from soil, that is from the earth. We get synthetic fibers from coal and petroleum, again that is from the soil. We need some utensils to cook our food. Steel utensils, brass utensils, aluminium. So many metals are required in our house. That is for the construction purpose. That is for the kitchenware. So in this way, so much of metals are required. All these metals are from the earth, that is from the soil. So soil is a source of various materials. So all these are the natural resources which provides the materials to make objects that are necessary for our day-to-day life. But here, due to the increase in population, the usage of materials increased a lot, and the manufacturing of materials, the manufacturing of products or goods is increased a lot. So that is for the purpose lot of materials are required, and for these materials, these natural resources are overexploited. So this is a very big issue, global concern. So worldwide, there are many people worried about this overexploitation of the natural resources, which leads to very severe problems that cannot be rectified or corrected in short span of time. So we see news about global warming. We see news about the depletion of natural resources like oil. The oil prices are going up. And we see that the forests are decreasing. So by that, the rainfall is disturbed, because forests are the lungs of the earth. So which takes place an active part in the water cycle. So by that there will be good amount of rainfall, good monsoon winds and all. But that is not happened because of the decreasing in the size of the forest. deforestation. So major problems are caused, and we think this is a very big issue. Then what is our part in this? So these are the very big issues. Those are to be solved at a very higher level, the United Nations organization or at the national level. Then what is our role, our participation? Here we can understand the root cause for all these problems, and we should understand how these natural resources are important and how can we prevent the damage to the natural resources. What are the various strategies if people follow or the government take the initiation by which we can manage these natural resources in a proper way and we can go for a sustainable growth. That means without causing much harm to the environment, we can make use of these resources, but we should keep one thing in mind, that we should leave some resources for the future generations. You cannot use up all these resources at a very high alarming rate, and you cannot produce lots and lots of waste, and you cannot dump it for the next generation. If you do so, the next generation will surely depend on garbage for their minerals or any other resources to make their products. So they will make all their products from the waste which we have produced if we do so. So we need to judiciously, properly, righteously use the natural resources. That is the concept explained in this chapter. So when there is a discussion about any issue, the people talk about that. Say for example, pollution of river Ganga. So when people identified or noticed that the river Ganga is being polluted, that is by the various pollutants left by the industries or factories from different states like Bihar, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, dumping all their pollutants, wastes, chemicals from the industries and household waste, sewage, the litter, everything is dumped into the river Ganga. So all these are drained directly into river Ganga, which polluted the Ganga water. Even the dead corpus, the dead bodies or half burnt dead bodies are thrown into river Ganga. So it is some other kind of religious aspect, whatever it might be, it pollutes the river drastically. So to a large extent damage is caused to the river Ganga. So when these kind of activities are done, so primarily it will be not recognized, that they think that it is a very minor thing, it simply just sinks in that large or huge amount of water. But many people doing that in a large quantity, it becomes a large quantity. When huge amounts of wastage from all these states is dumped into the river Ganga, it becomes totally a polluted river. Of course, it becomes a poisonous river. That means consumption of water at particular or certain places is poisonous even. And it also contains very dangerous bacteria which can cause diseases, coliform bacteria, and lots of poisonous substances, heavy metals. Because industries, they use different kind of metals or materials, chemicals for various activities. You see the tanning industry. So to tan the leather, they use so many chemicals which are finally released into the river. So that kind of thing happened to river Ganga and it got totally polluted. So once it is completely polluted, to restore its natural condition, it will take very long time. It involves lot of people, and it takes lot of money. Thousands of crores of rupees are to be invested again to restore its original condition. So whose fault is that? Whose money is again spent? That is the people money. We are paying the taxes. So these taxes are all collected together and 2000 crores or 5000 crores. So the government spends in its restoration, purification. But here initially, why to pollute the river? Again, why we should spend this much amount of money? And people are not sure. Here Ganga Action Plan. So this action plan was started because of some issues raised by some people or by the discussions raised in that parliament. So by that, so this Ganga Action Plan, it has taken in 1985, by which the government spends crores of rupees to clean river Ganga. But even though the government spends thousands of crores of rupees, if people are not aware of their activities, if the government is not having strict rules to control the pollutants not to be released into the river, so they make certain standards to the industries, otherwise they cancel the licenses of industries, or every industry must be following the measures, proper waste disposal measures, it is not possible to control the pollution of rivers. So it is a very bigger thing. And what else we can do at our level? So we are talking that the people should be like that, the government should be like that, the industrialist should be like this. Then what about us, our case? How we should be? Of course, we are not maybe near to river Ganga, we may be near river Godavari or any other river. So the thing is that we can take certain act, we can take certain oath, that is not to cause harm to the environment, not to pollute the natural resources. So even at our level, we can start practicing the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. So these 3 things can be followed at our level, at your level. As a student, you can do this. You can reduce, you can reuse, you can recycle the natural resources or materials. So by that, your contribution will be counted. Everyone does that. So everyone's contribution, even though it is very small or negligible, when it is added in millions and millions, it will show a good impact. Even we also can bring a change. So how much big the problem will be if everybody's attention towards contribution, everybody involves, everybody participates in the idea of judicious usage of natural resources or protection of natural resources, definitely we can bring a great change.